Kia ora, and welcome to Thursday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news markets now expected an Australian rate rise next week. But first up today, the US Fed held its policy rate unchanged at 3.5%. This is what markets expected of them, despite the Trump pressure to cut sharply. The vote was 10-2, with the two dissenters working to curry favour with Trump to get the nod as the next Fed chairman. The FOMC indicated that rates at this level could be on hold for some time while household inflation stress remains elevated. Inflation with no growth, other than growth from AI, is a hard position to extract yourself from. They also have their eye on the labour market, with some large layoff announcements in the past few days. Both UPS, which announced a 30,000 job layoff, and Amazon, which announced a 16,000 layoff, have announced big cuts. Less than seasonal changes and more about efficiency. They aren't the only ones pulling back. American mortgage applications fell last week as mortgage interest rates rose. Refinance activity fell more than 16%, while new home purchase mortgages were little changed. This may not be a trend change, rather just a breather, because the prior 3 weeks rose notably. However, this metric is in a clear yo-yo pattern. And Canada's central bank also held its policy rate at 2.25% in its overnight decision. New bully threats from the US are keeping their growth outlook quite uncertain, but they still see inflation holding at about 2%. And they still see an economic expansion of about 1.5%. India's industrial production accelerated in December, up 7.9% from the same month a year ago, to end its full year up 4.1% from 2024. Factory production was up 8.1% in December, with the weak sector being mining. The December expansion was its sharpest since October 2023. And in Australia, inflation was reported rising to 3.8%, far above November's 3.4% and also above the expected 3.6% level. After the strong December labour market data released earlier in the month, this will put heavy pressure on the RBA to act to prevent inflation impulses and inflation expectations from requiring even tougher medicine in the future. Growth hotspots Brisbane and Perth both reported even higher inflation rates. Even Sydney reported 3.7% December inflation. The RBNZ will be looking at this evolving situation with some alarm, given that we too have above target inflation, even without the growth pressures. Separately, the Chinese ambassador to Australia said that Beijing will step in if Australia moves to regain control of the Darwin port that was leased to the Chinese interest in 2015 on a 99-year lease basis take hold. He said China has the obligation to take measures to protect their rights over the port. That may include trade retaliation and more Chinese Navy circumnavigations, including live-fire exercises in the Tasman. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.26%, up 3 basis points from this time yesterday. And the price of gold will start today at $5,289 an ounce, up a sharp $202 from yesterday, and a new record high. Silver is up $7 at $114 an ounce, also a record. Platinum has recovered and now at $2,645 an ounce, but not yet back to Monday's spectacular record. We should also note that the aluminium price has risen sharply overnight. Again, it is now back approaching its pandemic frenzy levels. American oil prices are up another $1 at just under $63 a barrel, while the international Brent price is also higher, just under $68 a barrel. These are 4-month highs. And the Kiwi dollar is up 10 basis points from yesterday, now at 60.3 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're down 10 basis points at 86.2 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're up 30 basis points at 50.5 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just under 63.8 and up 10 basis points from yesterday, its highest since late September. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $89,425 and up 0.9% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been low, also at just on plus or minus 0.9%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston. We'll do this again tomorrow.